Hi, this is Josh Beatler with TauntonGuitarLessons.com with a quick guitar playing tip for you. So when you're learning guitar, or whether you're an advanced player, it doesn't really matter. You need to focus on the position of your left hand. So what you want to avoid doing when you're playing is looking at my fretting hand. You don't want the thumb to be sitting up top like this and the wrist to be showing over the top of the guitar. Now you might be asking yourself, well, I've seen other great players do that, what's the big deal with me? Well, a lot of the great players doesn't necessarily mean they have great technique, and some of the players that you might be thinking about, like a Stevie Ray Vaughan or a Jimi Hendrix or a Jimmy Page, they were pretty big guys, so their hands kind of had to wrap around the guitar because they were just big people. But for most normal-sized humans, you're really going to have to focus on keeping your wrist and your thumb in the correct position. So what is the correct position? Think about yourself as if you're holding like a tennis ball in your hand, where your wrist is down and relaxed and your fingers are pointing up in kind of like a cup position, almost like you're holding maybe a wine glass. So what you want to do is keep the wrist down like this. Now for some people that are just learning guitar, or if you're picking up guitar a little later on in life, you might find that this position is rather difficult for your hands, but don't get discouraged because this is the most important part of learning the guitar with this hand. Because if you don't do this from the beginning, you're going to develop a lot of bad habits. You can actually injure yourself even worse over time by doing the opposite. And it's going to prevent a lot of other things too, like being able to stretch your fingers correctly, developing speed, doing more advanced chords, and even starting off with beginner chords. So make sure that with the left hand, you keep the wrist down, and then the thumb stays at the back of the neck, kind of pointing out and away from you. It doesn't have to be, drastically down and pointing straight up, and it shouldn't necessarily be shooting straight out this way either. It should be kind of angled up and away from you so that when you're playing the guitar and learning your chords, your hand stays in a relaxed position so that the muscles don't tense up, so that you're not doing any extraneous wrist or elbow movements to try and do chords, okay? And so that you are also able to let the fingers do the work so they can learn the stretches that they need to. All right, so if you do that and you do it consistently throughout your practice sessions, you will get more results out of your practicing in less time. This is Josh Beatler with a quick guitar tip. Hope you have a good one. Practice, rock on.